Hello, welcome everyone to NRL Round 24 Wicky's Punters preview. I think it's been a couple of weeks since I spoke to you guys last, and we did the podcast. The reason for that is we had a Wiki team meetup. So I think I mentioned to you guys, or I keep mentioning that it's not just me. I do this full time. We've actually got a team at Wiki. We've got a couple of people overseas full time, a couple of people in Australia part time. But obviously the guys are on Zoom calls and video calls all the time and never get to actually catch up in person. So the four of us met up in person. It was freaking awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed some of our social media. We actually took a ton of videos. We had like a sick ass place by the beach. We obviously really cool pool, breakfast buffet, all that kind of stuff. All the guys are sort of like in their early 20s, so they absolutely loved it. I was going crazy trying to make sure that I keep up with the Wiki Premium guys and keep putting out tips before every game. And that was, trust me, that was really hard to keep making sure that I'm working and then having fun at night and then backing up again. But it was awesome. Like I wouldn't swap what I get to do with Wiki full time for anything. So, but on top of that, I had a lot of fun with the guys as well. Like the guys love sport. I think there was one time where we're in a pub and watching. There was Union, AFL, Rugby League, the Ashes, and something else. There was like five different sports on at the same time. Drinking a few beers. It was really good fun. But look, anyways, guys, let's get into it. If you Google Wiki Linktree, you can see what you see on your screen right now. We've got a Discord. It's got like 3,200 people, a couple of sign-up links to a couple of the guys that we partnered with for affiliate links. BetRight, they are trying to take on that sort of mentality of like a top sport type of company where they don't just ban people straight away. They're competitive with their prices. Got a couple of good promos around same-game multis, and their try-scorer prices usually are pretty good this week. Not as good as always, but generally really good products and really good prices. Dabble, the same-game multis that I've been putting out. It's been really good fun. I think I told you guys, like I've never really bet on rugby league for fun. Like I kind of always was looking at try scorers and values and finding good prices, and I can't go from that to just pissing away money on Dabble with the multis. I do try to find like an edge or like a player or like a good price and combine that with other things. There was one where I forgot which one now. It was Broncos Cowboys where Adam Reynolds was out and Val Holmes was out, and I had last conversion to miss. I forgot. Those two try scorers. I forgot what the picks were, but I think it was like 11-1 multi or something. And the last leg of that was last conversion to miss. And I think everything had happened and we were going to win the multi. And literally the last play of the game, someone from the Cowboys passed it. Cobo just happened to just run through, intercept it. It was like the easiest try ever. And obviously that meant that they converted the try right next to the post or whatever and lost that multi. But I am trying to do different things with Dabble multis, and obviously I'm trying to have some fun with it, but there's always thinking behind it. They're not just wingers multis together at shit odds, it absolutely kills me to see people doing that. It is the easiest way to piss away money. What the companies want you to do. Please don't freaking do that. But anyways, I'll move on. Wiki Premium, guys, a couple of cool things. I always mention to you guys that we run this Wiki. We run Wiki I run Wiki full time, and I want to grow this long term, all that kind of stuff. I don't want to be boring, but I got to say, a really really cool achievement from our team's point of view is like I've been doing this since 2020, right? Like no one knew what the hell the OCT was, no one knew who I was and my tips and stuff. But I started doing this in 2020 with Wiki. And last year we started to get some sort of attention, and I think we used to get a couple of hundred people on our site, whatever. But now this year it went nuts, and it got so popular that a couple of the big bookies had to change their pricing models. It's really clear the value that we're getting on. So we had to make Wiki Premium, like the paid version of what we do. But as I said, almost everything is still free. It's just that the premium guys get stuff exclusively and early, and they get the full OCT. And look, they're paying for it. So I don't feel sort of like I'm still handing most stuff out to the free guys, and you can still have a whole heap of fun on our Discord, and you can get on most of our tips at decent prices and stuff. But anyways, cool little announcement. Wiki Premium, when we launched it, I had no idea how to price it. Like I thought people should be making thousands of dollars a month off our tips if they do it right. But how can you explain that to people if they're new to it, right? So anyways, I thought, let's just launch this thing called Wiki Premium. Let's see how we go. $100 a month is nothing compared to what you're getting, but it's a lot of money compared to obviously people getting everything for free and other sort of like subscription services and NRL punting. So I just made it $100 a month just to see how we go for like the more expensive tier. And yeah, we've hit the cap. I set an arbitrary cap of 50 people, and we've hit it. We've hit. I think we're at like 49 or 51 or something close to 50. And if we get like one more sign up, I'm just gonna drop the sign up link now. But yeah, this is the worst way to deliver news. But long story short, Wiki Preview, we've hit 50 people in about 6 weeks, paying $100 a month. I'm really, really proud of what we've built. I really appreciate people's support to sign up, and it is a commitment from the people who sign up. Like we go to war on Tuesday evening for 5 hours, hunting try score prices everywhere. 24 hours before each game, we're hunting try score prices. An hour before each game, we're hunting try score prices. Well, obviously, I'm doing a lot of the work for the guys, but it's still a commitment, right? Like you can't just be not on your phone an hour before each game. It's kind of like you're wasting an opportunity. So really appreciate the support, and I'm really, really excited for the 2024 NRL season. And I'm actually also excited for the finals. So I want to try a few different things, and the next season is going to be bigger and better. But ooh, one quick thing, all our stuff, by the way, Google Wiki Linktree, you'll see all our articles, our data tools, our tips, etc., etc. It's all here. You'll also see this little section, Get the Best Out of Wiki. There's an article, there's multiple YouTube videos, there's a whole bunch of stuff that explains what we do, how we do it, and then if you've got any questions, obviously you can ask us on Discord. All right, guys, enough of me. I'm going to move on. So I'll very quickly go through teams for this round. I'm not going to go into detail, I'll just go through the key ins and outs, and then let's get into the value plays for this week. Manly's pack is stuffed. So they've got Sipley, Kepi, Woods, and Bullimore as middles this week, obviously with Jake Turbo. The Panthers pack, they don't have Lenu back, unfortunately, but aside from that, obviously it's the Panthers. So Manly are missing half their forward pack and Tom Turbo against a Panther side who I reckon will just go absolutely nuts on Thursday night. Big Tino's back, but they miss Mo Fotuaika and Verrills, their hooker. Tino and Jolliffe is back as well. So I think like it's not a huge. And Brimson was missing last week. So the Titans are missing a few. And the Sharks are. They beat the Rabbitohs in Perth last week, and they're back home. So I reckon the Sharks will do pretty well here. Broncos, Eels. There's a couple of changes here. So Adam Reynolds is back. Aside from that, the Eels are. Did they get someone back? No, the Eels are pretty much the same. I'm surprised that Okuhifi Ogden doesn't make the side. I would have thought he'd get a gig over Luca Moretti. But anyways, this should be a good game. But if the Broncos can beat the Cowboys 30 plus, I don't see the Eels competing with the Broncos in Brisbane. It is at the Gabba, not Suncorp, by the way, I think, because of the Women's World Cup. Rabbitohs play the Dragons in Cairns. This is stupid. I don't know what the hell the Rabbitohs are doing. I don't know how they thought this would be a good idea. A few weeks out from the finals to have all this travel. Cheekham and Tom Burgess missing. The Rabbitohs pack is ravaged here. So I actually thought the Dragons plus 20.5. A few guys on our Discord thought that might be a good play. But then you look at the Dragons side and they're missing Frank Molo. Oh, God, Jack Bird's out. I didn't even notice that. Jack Bird and Zach Lomax are out. That's a lot of strike power and middle grunt power missing. I am really worried about this game. I was excited about Dragons plus 20.5, but not after teams were announced. I reckon the Rabbitohs, they've had what do they have? I think they had a close win and then that loss last week. I reckon they're primed. They know they've only got 3 games in the next 4 weeks to go before the finals, and they have to win every game to make the finals. And if they do, they could even get a home final. So, anyways, Tigers, Warriors, CNK, another bad concussion. I think NRL physio was saying that he could actually be out for the rest of the season, or at least more than just the 1 week, which is upsetting for the Warriors, but also for CNK personally. Tua Picky, Taine Tuao Picky. That is a hard name to say, but he will be playing a fullback for the Warriors. I don't think they'll miss much, but I got to say, if this game, this game's in New Zealand. That's right. I was going to say if this game was like an actual Tigers home game, like in Australia, their team, like I did say, I think on like social media and Discord last week, that the Tigers are actually looking much better with Utukamanu, Coruscant, Clemmer, Papali, Bateman, Bolle, Twal. That is a really good forward pack with, guys like Blore and Simpkin and Seyfarth around them. And then the back line has Brooks and Buller. Toa's had his moments this year. Junior Tupou and Nofaluma have done their bit this year, I reckon, as well. And Laurie obviously has some attacking upside. That's actually a decent side. If this game was in Australia, I'd be confident playing the Tigers plus 12 or 18 or whatever they happen to be. But in New Zealand, with the Warriors on the form, like they had come off the bye, so they're well rested. They've got a few games in New Zealand, I think, in a row now. I'm actually pretty confident that actually, sorry. I'm not confident on the Warriors line, but I'm confident the Warriors will win. They just look really good this year. Roosters, Dolphins. So Nathan Brown, after his send off last week, he's suspended. Dylan Napa makes it back in the 17 for the Roosters. That should be interesting to watch. The Dolphins are pretty much the same side as last week, I believe. This should be an interesting game. Like it's. I think this game's in Sydney. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Allianz. It's weird. Like the Roosters have to win every game to make the finals. The Dolphins side again, like looks decent. Like they've got Sullivan, Katoa, Nikorima, James, Marshall King in the spine. It's and like Milford who can come on. They've got Kerr, Wallace on the bench. Like I actually kind of like this team. Whereas the Roosters, you've got Dylan Napa, Terrell May, Standen Smith, Suya Wong, like in that pack. Nothing against them, but they're obviously like relatively new NRL players. Slash Napa making his return. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be an interesting game. Not much I can say. No big ins and outs here. Storm Raiders. I can't wait for this game. This is my game of the round. Yeah, if I can see a lot of people getting on Raiders 1-12 here. Like I think the Raiders in the last couple of years have surprised the Storm either by beating them or coming close in Melbourne over the last couple of years. In terms of team changes, unfortunately, Seb Chris did his hammy. Jennings has hurt his ACL. Not done his ACL, I don't think, but I think he's hurt his knee or his ACL again. So he's out. But they do get Jerome Hughes back. The interesting thing about this is Jerome Hughes' name, but there was talk that he might miss multiple weeks. So if he's a late out again, that brings Peasant back in. They looked like they just didn't have any. I know it was the Panthers that they played, but they looked pretty. They didn't even look close to good enough. Whereas the Raiders, yeah, they just beat the Tigers. Tigers had like a shot after the siren pretty much to win the game. So the Raiders are a little bit disappointing. But I think with 4 games to go, they're playing the Storm in Melbourne. I reckon the Raiders, like, their side on paper, like, they've got they've got Chris missing, they've got Ethan Strange in the side, they've got like a rookie bench hooker. I feel like they're missing someone else as well, but I'm forgetting. But anyway, it's like, I think this game will be really close, and I'll definitely be getting on Raiders 1-12. We've got a ton of try scorer picks for this game as well, so it should be really good to watch. Knights Dogs. So I think the Knights beat the Dogs like 60-0 or something similar to that about a month ago. It was an amazing game for us because we had a couple of different first, second, third try scorers get up, and the premium guys. We had Kurt Mann get up at 67s. FTS second half. This is like one of my favorite all-time try scorer games. Won a ton of money on a Sunday about 5 or 6 weeks ago. But it's kind of weird that the Knights have been in great form since then, and the Dogs have been pretty shit. But you look at that Dogs team. Sexton's looked good in the halves. Avril looks really good in at fullback. Carraz has been really great, really good all season. Adokar and Burden, Burden, and Kickout on that left edge. Preston's been great on the right edge. TPJ and Marnie, they haven't been great this year, but they obviously are good NRL players. And that bench of Thompson, Knight, Waddell, not star-studded, but a lot better than the Dogs forward pack from a few weeks ago. Nothing against Edwards, Morin, Ockenberg, or Hughes, but they were the guys that were on the bench. And now they've got more experienced bodies on that bench. And then you look at the Knights and like their side, I think there's Saifiti's definitely under an injury cloud. So I reckon like if he's ruled out, that means that the Knights pack I don't think is significantly better, if better at all, than the Dogs. And then you look at the back line, and yeah, okay, Marjo and Young been on fire this year, but they are missing Bradman Best. KP is just on fire this year. But yeah, long story short, even though the Knights smacked the Dogs last time they played each other, with Best out, with Daniel Saifiti out, with Jacob Saifiti potentially ruled out late, this game I reckon will be close. And the line's drifting as well. I think it went from like 11 or 12.5 to about 9.5 now. So interesting one to watch out for. And we've got... Yeah, it is. It'll be really interesting to see the updates on this, whether Jacob Saifiti makes the cut, because I think that'll be pretty big with that Dogs pack looking much better than a few weeks ago. I thought I'd change it up this week a little bit by talking about the teams, and then we'll get straight into last week's article very quickly, and then tips for this week. So last week, oh man, I got to say, I think 2 weeks ago we had an amazing round. And then last week was not looking good until the last try of the last game. So Luke Brooks scored a try where I reckon he was offside, but don't tell anyone. Luke Brooks scores a try with about 10 minutes to go. The Tigers like hunting for another try to get the win. Luckily, the Raiders had like an injury or two and had kind of, I wouldn't say given up, but like obviously they were just trying to hold on. And the Tigers came so freaking close to scoring a couple of times, sorry. But then, yeah, they did it. Brooks held on. It was freaking awesome. I think the thing with this Brooks pick is that I thought the Tigers would come closer than most people thought. And obviously they did. They almost won. And I think the line was about 12. But I think the thing that justifies it more is like Luke Brooks is a good ball runner. He doesn't score a lot of tries, but to see him out at 51s, I thought was like a really good price and obviously justified because it got up. But yeah, I think like what I try to do is get the picks out and explain why I like the picks as well. And I also put in price updates. So if you do check out the punters preview, just remember that, yeah, we put these picks out on a Wednesday morning for the premium guys first, because obviously they pay for early access. I then do price updates on game day. So each morning when you look at our punters preview, you'll have a little write-up from me at the bottom here explaining which tips are still a good price and which aren't. And whichever ones are still a good price, I actually talk through why they're a good price. So literally I said, Luke Brooks is a good ball runner and usually backs up from half breaks from the Tigers. His career strike rate converted to odds would be 41 first try scorer. Most bookies have him around that price or under. It's clear to see why we think the 51 is good value for first and last try scorer. He wasn't backing up, but he did chase the kick. He may have been offside. People have said that he might be offside, but who cares? He got given. I love that the sort of reasoning was spot on. The pricing, like that's the thing with what we try to do. We try to find the best price. Like, yes, you might have got it on at Luke Brooks' last try score at 34. That goes against the whole point of what we're trying to do. I say to the guys, the Wiki Premium guys, you want to try to get on within 10% of what I've tipped. So if you see 51s, if you see 46s elsewhere because the 51's gone, that's okay. But if you see 34s, do not bet on that. That's freaking just stupid. Don't do it. Use our odds comparison tool, find a similar price, or miss the tip. Missing the tip is better than feeling happy because you won something at half the price. Long term, you're pissing away your money. Please don't do that. Very quickly, aside from that, it was a bit annoying last week because we had a couple of huge wins, but they were Wiki Premium picks where, like, because what I try to do with Wiki Premium is like, obviously the guys are paying for access to my tips now before every game, and I think it was Kyle Felt. Yeah, it was Kyle Felt. He was named in the centers, and I knew, or like, I was very confident based off the mail that Talangi was training at center earlier in the week. That Felt was named at center would play wing. Happened exactly that way, and we won huge on anytime try scorer at like $5 odds or something ridiculous on BetRight. And the other one was Hiroti. BetRight, for whatever reason, priced Hiroti really highly. The Sharks were big outsiders pre-game. Hiroti, I think we won on him first try scorer at 23, I think it was, and he was like 15s elsewhere. Freaking amazing. So yeah, obviously went big on those, but and the Wiki Premium guys obviously won on those as well. But the only sort of like big free tip that got up was Luke Brooks to end the round, which is beautiful. Aside from that, I don't think we had many others that were really worth discussing. I think this was heartbreaking. So this was that's right. So the Cowboys-Broncos game was that same gamer that had gotten up until that freaking intercept. And also, Hilo Luki, he's a beast of a ball runner, $29 last try scorer. He had scored the last try until that random bullshit intercept. So that's another tip that would have gotten up, which sucks. Aside from that, I'm pretty sure one of these wingers would have scored. Oh, but they didn't score first. My bad. What else? I don't think there was anything. Oh, that's right. Trindle didn't score the first or the last. Oh, he scored the last team try, and I think Trindle first, second, or third was a Wiki Premium tip as well, and that won for us as well, which is awesome. And Ravalava, anytime try scorer was really good value, and he scores 4 freaking tries, but he didn't score the first, unfortunately. That's it. Right, I'll get into round 24, guys. I'll shoot through this. I want to try to keep this podcast to about 30 minutes because I feel like a lot of you guys that have been watching all year kind of know the drill. You'll get to read the articles. So I want to just use this podcast to kind of talk through the high level stuff, any standout picks, why I like them. And obviously, we're on Discord all week where the article obviously discusses why I like the picks. And you've got the odds comparison tool to find your own as well. So I think this will be an interesting game, guys. Manly Panthers. I reckon the Panthers win freaking easily. What's the line for this one? 19.5. I think we got on it at about 15.5 about a few days ago. We always try to get on early lines to try to find early value. I think here you got to be really careful with this game. I'll be honest. I've been a little bit overexcited with teams playing the Panthers and finding sort of huge odds. I'll try to be a little bit more balanced going into the next few weeks. But if they keep putting out huge numbers, I'll keep hitting them. And I'm happy to cop that in our record for the year. So Jake Trebojevic, like any Manly middles at 151 or higher, I will just get on. Don't even think twice. You can go small if you want, but I don't know. If he gets to a certain number, I'm more than happy to get on. Really like Lachlan Croke. I think he's got a couple of tries in the last month and a half. Looks really good. And I kind of look at it as like teams should be looking to compete early. And hopefully the Panthers rest a couple late. So I like the kind of having a stab at 67s on Lockie Croker. Luai is actually a good price compared to other bookies on 365 here. 21's FTS LTS, 360 ATS. Sharks and Titans. So I had a look. So Stimson, he's got a try last week. I've tipped him too often, and he's just not not a try scorer, not a dynamic ball runner. But he plays on the right side, which is running up against Trindle, Talakai, and Wade Graham and Mulatalo. Anyways, that Sharks left obviously has considered a lot of tries this year. And Stimson's running at them. So I like that 56s for first try scorer and 9s ATS on Sportsbet. Big Tino, I don't think this price will survive. He scores a try every 5 NRL games or so, and he's paying 8s on TAB to score a try and about 51s FTS and LTS. If you find him at these prices anywhere, I think it's really good value. Tino scored the last try, 1 in every 15 or so NRL games he's played. It's a freakish strike rate. So I think anything you can find on sort of LTS team around that sort of price would be really good. And Jolliffe at 81's FTS and LTS on Dabble on 365. I really like. I think I did punt on this, and I don't think I tipped it, but I had the feeling, and I'm pretty sure I said this, that I did say this, that the Sharks weren't as bad as everyone thought, and the Rabbitohs weren't as good yet as everyone thought last week. And obviously the Sharks ended up upsetting the Rabbitohs. And I think this week, it's a case of like the Sharks had a really good win in Perth against the Rabbitohs. It doesn't mean that they're now like invincible, right? So I do think they should win against the Titans, especially at Shark Park. But it also means that, like, especially with the middle forward, I think Finnekane's out. One of the other Sharks sort of middle forwards is out. So I reckon like a Tino at a juicy price, a Jolliffe at a big price. I'm more than happy to get on those against the Sharkies. Bronco, also Jolliffe's old club as well. So he's going back against his old club, a little bit of extra motivation. Broncos v Eels. It's going to be a cracking game Friday night, 8 p.m. Channel 9 game. Russell, good value again. If he does stay out on that right wing, he got swapped last week because Ravalawa kept scoring against the rookie. And I think he still scored 1 or 2 against Russell. But anyways, Russell 275 anytime, Bet365. Flegler first and last, around 67s on Sportsbet. And Wiramu Greg, he's the guy that I called out as like a really good ball runner. And I think he scored 1 or 2 tries. I was really proud of that pick. But he's around $67 on Ned's first try score second half. Love that pick. Wiramu Greg, my man, he's back from injury. Well, he was back last week. Only played a few minutes, but I reckon he gets a decent crack this week. Rabbitohs v Dragons is a ton of picks. I'm not going to read them all out, but Ilias, I think, was the standout anytime try scorer at $4.25. Ravalawa, again, just like last week, $2.40 on Bet. That Ilias price was on PointsBet, by the way. There's a few others. The one I really, really like is Michael Molo. I know that the Dragons are not a fan favorite side to punt on, and obviously they're missing a lot of players now. But it's in Cairns, neutral venue, and I just like Michael Molo at a juicy price. Anything at 67 or more for him, I like for first try scorer. He's starting. He has scored 1 or maybe even 2 tries already this year. I think it's 1. He's a rookie. I just like it the way he runs the ball. And the Rabbitohs are missing a few forwards: Tom Burgess, Arrow, and Totola and Sele. They're missing quite a few forwards actually. So I like Michael Molo for FTS 75s on toppy, but anything 67 or higher sounds good to me. And Ben Hunt 41s on Bet R first try scorer. Really, really like that. Tigers Warriors. This game's in New Zealand, guys, by the way. Pompey, $3.40 on BetRight anytime. Johnson, $3.40 anytime on 365. Metcalf, same price, anytime 365. And also FTS and LTS 21s. And then Brooks, $7.50 anytime, Sportsbet and BetR. And then Nia Corey, right edge back rower next to Sean Johnson. Love him as a pick, and he's a really good price, 29s on Ned's FTS, first try scorer. And then going down, we've got 3 games to go. We've got Roosters, Dragons, Tafare, the big man, 360 on BetR to score anytime. Love Isako, FTS, first try scorer at 13s on BetR. BetR do this thing where they keep putting out wingers at like slightly juicy odds just to get business, I think. And I think it's great value. No reason not to get on. He obviously scored a hat trick in the first half last week. Drewy Hutchison, 31s, FTS, LTS. Love the way he runs the ball. It's annoying with halves. Like, it's weird. I've been following this recently. I got into rugby league for fantasy and betting and stuff. And it's weird with halves. Like, they just don't look like they're going to score because they're obviously like, they get a lot of possession and they're passing and organizing and stuff. But the thing with Drew Hutchison, he's got like a really good left foot step. And like when he does straighten up, he's actually quite a big body and quite powerful. And I can kind of see him like backing up as well. Not as good as Kiri, but there's a few different ways I can imagine Hutchison scoring, and I do like the 31s on Dabble. Josh Kerr, first try scorer, second half, 81s. Love him. Love him as a try scorer. Up against a Roosters bench who have like Terrell May, Dylan Napa, and a couple of other sort of lesser known NRL players. Marky Nichols, the bold, beautiful man. I love that guy. FTS at 61s or higher on points bet. So it's FTS, LTS, and second try score at 61s on points bet at the moment. Any price around that, love Nichols. And the Marshall King, who's the reason why I love a lot of these middle forwards, he's at 41s on Neds. He was going from dummy half a couple of times. Generally like him as a try scorer. And just with the Dolphins, it's weird. Like I just love the Dolphins middles because Marshall King is great at putting them over. And obviously Isako, I might have I might have a look at Isako v Tessie New because Isako scored a ton of tries, and I feel like they're barely scoring tries on the left edge. Who's their left center? I'm struggling to remember, but Tafare, obviously, he gets a lot of attention, and Isako is a really good try scorer. So I might have a bit of a look at that. But anyways, the last couple of games, guys, Storm Raiders. Love all things Tomoko. He's been on fire this year. $4.50 anytime, better. FTS, LTS, 26s on tab or better. Really like all things Tomoko. Also, with the Storm, I think it's important to understand that they're running. Who are they? Young Tana Prepare played left center last week, and I think their right center is Seve. And they got like that. A, they got beat up by the Panthers, but B, they've got a couple of different like edge combinations. And there's a chance that Jerome Hughes might be out as well. If Jerome Hughes is out, I am so freaking keen on the Raiders and all these Raiders players. I'm already keen on them, but if Hughes is out, even more so. Young T looked really good. Scored the first try at 34s. Should have listened to the model. You know, I make these tips based on the model and the OCT and my own opinions. So I ignored a young ton of players. I was like, I don't even know where he's going to play. He hasn't played NRL. He hasn't played for a while. He hasn't played centers much. I don't even know what edge he's playing on. I was like, too much happening up against the Panthers. I'll ignore the model, even though the model loved the 34s on him, first try scorer. Said no to it, and he scores the first freaking try. So, as I always say, have a look yourself, see what picks are out there, because there's a lot of times where you'll find stuff that I don't like or I don't find, and you can find it yourself. And that's the whole point of the odds comparison tool. And obviously it's free for you guys to check out. There's a couple here. So Wolford and Welsh at 81s first and last on Dabble. So the reason why I like these is Wolford just keeps being at a high price. I know he hasn't scored an NRL try, or he's only scored one before, but that doesn't mean he's not going to score in the future. He's a hooker. He's a decent NRL player. So I like that really high price for him. But Welsh, Grant loves putting middle forwards over. Welsh is not a noted try scorer, but 81s is a good price. I think any like 71, 61s, all that, I wouldn't take that for Welsh. 81 and above, I would. And Tapino Papali'i's got a great, like, he is the best NRL middle forward try scorer ever, pretty much. Our premium package is named after him because we love him. But Tapino's obviously like a dominant ball runner. They're both paying around that 60, anything at 61 even and above. I love for these guys, FTS and LTS. But I think right now they're at that sort of 67, 71 type of price on Sportsbet. And then Gula at 71s on Sportsbet, FTS second half. I think we've only won on him like once in the last 2 years, but I will keep tipping him. Really good ball runner. I said to the guys, like, his family owns a kebab shop somewhat near where I live, and if he ever wins us another one of these, I'm going to go there. Well, I'll at least Uber Eats from there or something that night. Love all things Emre Gula. Knights and Bulldogs, I think I said before, like, it's going to be an interesting game. Knights smacked the Bulldogs only a few weeks ago, but and the Knights have been in great form ever since, but they are missing Bradman Best. They're missing Daniel Saifiti. They could be missing Jacob Saifiti if he's ruled out late. Whereas the Bulldogs are actually looking healthy. They've got Kickout, it's his second week. They've got Addo Carr back from injury and Burden. That left edge looking really good. And then their forward pack is actually healthy and back on the field. So I know that a lot of, or most of our picks are from the Knights, and I think a lot of these are really good value. But I will be looking out for late picks on the Dogs if we get some juicy middle forward try scorers. Marju and where is he? Where's Dom Young? Ah, crap, Dom Young's not in here. But Marju and Young, I put out a stat a few weeks ago that the Knights have the highest percentage of tries scored through wingers. So of their tries, the percentage of tries scored by wingers is the highest for the Knights out of all NRL teams. No surprise with Marju and Young. I think Young has scored the most tries in NRL this year. Frizzell and Gagai on the right edge consistently come out as good odds. So is Hastings. That's all on Neds, by the way. So Neds has really good prices for Hastings, Gamble, Gagai, and Frizzell, and Sexton as well. 51s FTS. Jacob Saifidi, I doubt this price lasts, but he was last try scorer at 61 on Sportsbet for the premium guys. I reckon they'll crunch that in though. And that Marju price was $1.62 on BetR. And obviously KP on that left edge, very dangerous. I reckon no best almost helps Marju potentially. Maybe that ball doesn't go out to the center and they hit Marju a bit more consistently. That'll be interesting to watch. But that's it. Cool. I'm going to very quickly go through the odds comparison tool, guys. We open up access to the free odds comparison tool a bit later in the day. So for our podcast, I use the premium one. Obviously, the guys pay for it, so I don't want to sort of open up every single game to everyone on the podcast. But what I will do is I've picked out a game that's got a lot of good value picks to show you guys what the premium guys get. So they get, I think it's 11 or 12 different bookies. They get 5 different markets, and I might be announcing this before I actually tell them, but our tech guys have got a pretty cool announcement. We're actually going to have a 6th market here for the premium guys, which is going to be first, second, or third try scorer. And I know that's going to be popular because we love that market. So that's going to be going out hopefully later today, Wednesday, Alvo Sydney time. This podcast should be coming out around then as well. So yeah, premium guys, stay tuned. We're going to have some fun with that first, second, or third market. Anyways, look, the reason why I picked this game is a really easy one to talk through. The Rabbitohs are meant to smack the Dragons. The Dragons have a ton of injuries. The Rabbitohs will be pissed off after losing to the Sharks. I know it's in Cairns, but actually just very quickly, when is this game? Is it a day game? 5:30? Oh, 3 p.m. in Cairns. If it's warm in Cairns and it's a day game, I reckon the Rabbitohs are going to go nuts. But anyways, you got Lockie Ilias. Obviously here you can see model value. All model value is looking at what price does our model think that play should be priced at and what price are they. And if the price that we can find is way better or way higher than the model, that's where you get a really high number for model value and green highlighting, which is trying to tell you that it's a good bet. So Ilias and Tass, $4.25 and $2.90 respectively anytime on PointsBet and Neds and PlayUp for Tass. PointsBet for Ilias, Neds and PlayUp for Tass. They are our model's favorite picks by far for anytime try scorers in this game. The other ones that I really like, Ravalava, you can see here, $2.40 on BetR, and he's priced at less than $2 by a model. A lot of A lot of other bookies having sort of just over that $2 mark, so that $2.40 looks pretty good. Pearl and Kolomatangi at $2 and $3.25 on BetR and 365 respectively as well. So you can see like what you're looking, how I look at these things is you're looking at these percentages or this highlighting. You want to see green, and you want to see sort of at least 110 or above in terms of percentage. For like, for example, like if something's at like 101, it just means that like our model thinks Sloan is $3.72, and you're finding 3.75. That's in no way like it's a fair price. It's like I try so hard to talk people out of bloody multis and same gamers with a bunch of wingers. You are literally like if you can see here. Actually, I'll find a really good example. So if you've got like Tane Milne at $1.83 and I don't know, Fian Guy at 3.25. That's the best price. But like for example, if you go to sports bet and you go, oh, I want Alex Johnston at $1.39 when our model thinks he should be actually shit. That's a bad example. He's really good value. But like for example, our model thinks a Milne, the Tane Milne should be like $2.20 or whatever, and you're getting $1.67 on sports bet. And you got Campbell Graham paying $1.76 when our model thinks it should be $1.88, etc., etc. If you do a sports bet same game multi, you are getting bad odds for all of these legs and multiplying them. So what happens when you multiply a negative? You get an extreme negative. It's freaking horrible. Sorry, that's a shit way to put it. But basically, you're getting shit odds and you're making them worse by putting them in multi. So please don't freaking do that. Have a different way. Have like all of the wiki picks, you're swimming in a pool of like free picks that are 10, 20, 30, 40%, or like maybe not 40 for the free guys, but 10, 20, 30% value. You want to be having fun with those picks. You don't want to be multiplying wingers, getting shit odds and consistently losing. That's not fun. That's not, I don't understand how that's engaging or that's fun. Like I don't want to piss people off, but like if you're punting for fun, then yeah, sure, have some fun with it. Let's go to first try scorer, like have some fun with Alex Johnston on BetR is paying $7. That's way higher than what our model thinks it should be and way higher than other bookies. Put money on that. That's good value. Have some fun with it. Anyways, I just get really pissed off and wound up when I think about this stuff. But anyways, guys, in the first try scorer market, as you can see here, Dan Russell's a rookie, so our model doesn't work well with rookies, so don't ignore that, please. But if you look at Tass here, he's priced at 17s on Neds and Top Sport first try scorer, and our model was got him priced at about $13.50. You can see it's clearly green. It's a really high number here. It's because the price we found on Neds and Poppy is clearly better than our model's price. So that's how you want to use it. Market value is basically if one site has the price for a player, like a Ben Hunt 41s, right, is way higher than any other bookie. If you can see this, I think 34s is probably the next best. So you can see like a nice 120%. It's way higher than any other bookie. So it's just different ways of identifying good bets, basically. And then you can go to first try score, check it out and look at the biggest numbers. None of these guys really appeal, to be honest. But if you really like the Couchman brothers, like a Toby Couchman's paying $71. The Rabbitohs bench is kind of weak. I think that might be potentially worth a small dabble. But anyways, guys, I think I'll leave it at that. As always, guys, join our Discord. It's free to join. All this stuff like the Discord, the Punters preview article, the podcast that I'm doing now, our odds comparison tool, our stats Bible for draft stars. All this stuff is free. Almost everything on our page is free. As I said, the paid stuff is pretty much sold out anyway, aside from the Baby Lenus membership, which is $20 a fortnight, where you can look at the full premium odds comparison tool and get into the premium private channel where I think there's about 65 or so of us that chat all things punting. If you want to have fun with your punting, check out our Dabble Multis, check out all our free stuff, chat on our Discord. If you take it a little bit more seriously, obviously it's the Wiki Premium stuff, the odds comparison tool, our tips, get involved in the value punting chat, and all the rest of it. Guys, I'm gonna done too much talking. I'll leave you to it. Enjoy NRL Round 24. I'm completely free for all 8 games. So I'm going to go nuts in terms of engagement. I'll maybe even do like a TikTok live or a Discord voice. I'm going to go nuts with a few different things. So enjoy the weekend, guys. There aren't many close games expected, but we'll definitely get a couple of upsets. I hope you enjoy the weekend. Please gamble responsibly. I'll catch you soon.